It's the Don't Make It Weird podcast with your hosts, Daniel and Dinosaurus.
Oh my goodness, we are somehow back again. And I don't want to give any spoilers here. But we've got an incredible guest with us. And I hope he doesn't regret this at the end of the show. But let me tell you first, I am one of the hosts of the Don't Make It Weird podcast, Daniel Quigley, and I am joined, as always, by the Dina Corn herself, the wicked wench who waxes whimsical and whose hair looks like waves in the ocean, Dinosaurus. How we doing today, Dina?
I'm feeling pretty good. I shaved my legs today, so I'm having a good day.
That's the bar we're setting. We're already excited. I like it. Oh my gosh. I shaved my legs too, so, you know, they're nice and smooth.
We're not going to go into that. Okay.
Same. Don't judge me.
I'm judging.
Yeah.
I'm judging.
Yeah, don't judge me. And, guys, I know I tried to already set up a little tease earlier, but we somehow, some way, convinced the Chad Ryan to join us on today's episode of Don't Make It Weird. Chad, what's going on, man?
What's going on, guys? You know, what if I already regret being here? Is it too late to back out?
Yep. Producer Sean told you to shave your legs before coming on here, right?
Full Brazilian legs.
I can just release the episode as is right now.
Yeah.
Three minutes.
Yeah. Well, you guys only said I had to be here for like 2 minutes, so that's
yeah, exactly. The rest of this is just us drinking the whole time. So
yeah, which is what I came for, was the booze. So
then you are in the right place. And before I go any further and wait 20 minutes to introduce him, the only adult in the room, the man behind the proverbial glass, producer Sean. How we doing, bud?
Great. How's it going, everybody? Chad, welcome to the show. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sean.
Oh, man. So we plan to get a little crazy here. For those of you who don't know who Chad Ryan is, you apparently aren't on writing Twitter and you might be under a rock, but he is the author of Ghost River. He's one of the managing partners of Lost Boys Press, and he gives out classes. I mean, you do literally everything, Chad. It's unbelievable. How do you even have free time?
This is what I'm doing with my free time, apparently, which is why I totally regret my life choices.
So you want to be a writer?
Yeah, so you want to be a writer and work all the time.
No,
yeah,
my eyebrow just exploded on me.
And by the way, only like 15% of it is actually writing. So
yeah, everything else is
everything else is like administrative work, you know. So
and Dina just is dying over here. So
yeah, she's like spewing.
This is why you stick to the White Claw can.
So as we tell Chad, this is a very professional podcast. As you can tell, we absolutely have our shit together.
The fact that we need to reiterate that every week just shows how professional it truly is.
So if I click my browser close, I'm out, right?
No, you're done.
Yeah, that's your eject button.
Cool.
All right, no, that is perfect. So, man, we are so excited because we're going to get to talk to Chad about not only the terrifying book Ghost River. We're going to get to chat with him about Chimera, not Chimera, Dina.
Shut up. Listen. Okay. No. So I think that there's two different spellings. I can go get the book. It's Chimera, and I am number 4. I don't give a fuck what you guys think. It's Chimera. They're pets. They're badasses. Oh, that
different book.
Chad. Chimera.
This is part of Chad Ryan's writing classes is how to pronounce Chimera.
Yeah. It's like chimichanga. Seriously, guys. Chimichanga.
That's a much better name. Come on, man. Yeah. Missed an opportunity there.
But okay, I'm pretty sure in the book that I'm talking about, they have like the AE, like the combined AE, you know what I'm talking about? Does that change it?
Yeah. Like the old English, like the Chimera.
I think it might change it. Cannot confirm in this moment.
I actually have an English literature degree, and I have no fucking clue. So.
Chad is the most qualified here, and he doesn't know.
And
if Chad doesn't know, we're fucked.
No, dude. Man.
Yeah, exactly.
I skated through college, man. I just made up papers, and they gave me a degree.
Ain't that the freaking truth? Yep. And before we get any further, and this is my first chance to fuck up a name, so I'm hoping I didn't fuck this up because I am known to mess up names. Mm-hmm. Not meant to be together.
No,
did I get the title right?
Close.
That's correct. Not meant to be together. Yeah.
I thought it was. Hold on. I thought it was not meant for each other. Are my notes wrong?
no, it's not meant for each other. You totally got it wrong.
Yeah.
He's just really good.
Chad was just being nice, man. He set me up and absolutely just pulled the rug out from under me.
Yeah, the book's never meant for anybody ever again, right? Close enough.
You can find it at Lost Guys Press. So
Lost Guys Press or Barnes and Nuggets bookstore.
Nailed it.
So now that I've immediately butchered that, like I said, there is a ton of projects, a ton of great reads out there.
Ton of projects.
Oh man, I can't even wait to dive into those. But before we do,
sure.
Dean, are you there? Are you together?
I'm still trying to clean up the wine.
I was watching her, like, she was like pulling a whole machine out of her clothes. It was like a device that was coming out.
An entire apparatus.
There was water spraying everywhere.
Yeah,
it looked like that scene from Alien when the alien was coming out of her chest.
That's got to be a thing,
like,
Dina.
every
week you have to have like a different weird apparatus to drink out of.
I've had tons.
Some kind of drinking harness.
Oh gosh. So now we're gonna get into my favorite segment. We're bringing this out just for you, Chad. We're gonna get into super fights. Are you ready?
I'm scared. Yeah, I'm ready, man. I watched one of the videos and I'm a little nervous, dude, because you come at this with like energy level 12, like you're ready to go and it's like on. So I'm a pretty mellow guy and I'll do my best to keep up with you.
I mean, listen,
I'll have to rely on the old imagination.
Yeah, listen, I've been told I'm like a golden retriever, so this is a very accurate depiction of my energy level at all times.
I hate this game.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at coming up with stuff on the fly like this.
Yeah. So remember, you don't
I almost had to pop some Vicodin.
So, I mean, think of this almost like a courtroom battle where you don't have to carry on my story. You are presenting to the court the judgeship.
Right. I'm arguing my case.
Exactly. Of why you're going to be superior. So for the folks at home, we'll do a quick reset. This is going to be, don't make a weird super fights. We've got pools of random characters, pools of random superhero powers, and they've got some kind of traits that might balance them out a little bit. We're going to be chosen at random, and we've got 60 seconds to make a case as to why our superior warrior will beat our opponent's superior warrior. We'll have a chance for a rebuttal, and then producer Sean lays down the law. This is going to be epic. I cannot wait. Who wants to go first? Are you ready to go first?
Sure.
I mean, you're going every time, Chad. This is just a question of Dina.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
I hate going first. Well, okay. No, I want to go second.
All right, I'm ready. Me and you, Chad. All right.
Weird super fight.
Daniel's champion is the Cookie Monster.
Yes. Oh shit. Let's go. My arch nemesis, or Peter Sean's arch nemesis.
The Cookie Monster's abilities.
I don't like this long pause. I'm a little nervous right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's still loading. Hold on. The Cookie Monster's abilities.
Spin it again. Let's go.
Can force his opponent into a dance-off.
Ooh.
And can give anyone they speak to an existential crisis.
Okay.
That's just Daniel in general, so.
So it's basically just me in a blue suit. Okay. All right.
And the Cookie Monster's trait. He has to hold a puppy while fighting.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, that makes me nervous. Poor little guy.
All right. And Chad, your champion. Indiana Jones.
Oh, man.
Bitch.
All right.
That was actually a listener suggestion
Ooh.
from earlier this week, so that's fun.
Oh.
What if I've never seen those movies?
Get off the show.
Get out.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones can read minds and can control his weight, i.e. can make himself weigh a ton or be light enough to float. That's almost like an Ant-Man thing.
All right.
Pretty sure there's an
And
X-Men that can do
his trait.
He can control minds or read minds?
Read minds.
Read.
And he's really into hard eye contact and uncomfortable silence.
Yeah, that's hot.
Everyone
That's
took
sexy.
notes, right? All right, so who's going first? Daniel?
Just one more time. Reading minds and what's controlling what?
He can control his weight, meaning he
writing
can
this
weigh
down?
as much as he wants or as little as he wants. Yeah, he's taking notes.
Yeah,
he's
This
being
is
prepared.
this is take notes, people. There's
like a lot to think about.
Yeah, you got to formulate. You got to get these powers coagulated.
Yeah. Yep, and eye contact.
Hard eye contact
That's
and
right.
long silences.
Okay, so Daniel,
All
you're
right,
first.
just to be clear, I've got dance off, existential crisis, and holding a puppy. All right.
Yes.
All right.
And
Am I going first? All right.
yes,
So,
you're on the clock.
Cookie Monster, get into attack. He sees Indiana Jones. Obviously, has no idea what he is. He's just out here trying to count things and eat some cookies. But you know what? You know what Indiana Jones is known to do? He's a man who takes cookies and takes treasures away. So he's now furious. We've got an enraged Cookie Monster. So the first thing he does is he gets up to Indiana Jones. He stares him right in the eye and says, "Dance?" And Indiana Jones doesn't have a choice. He has to dance. But if there's one thing being on a children's show has done, is taught a Cookie Monster how to dance. He's gonna exhaust Indiana Jones. He's gonna be exhausted and tired. And then he asks, "What is life is one big cookie." And then he makes him look at the puppy in his hands. And Indiana Jones, now in a state of exhaustion and just pondering his place in the universe, gets eaten in one cookie swoop by the Cookie Monster. This ends quickly, brutally, viciously, all over. There is no stopping an enraged Cookie Monster.
Well done. Well
shitty.
done.
Oh. Dina, I don't need
All
you
right,
swaying
Chad.
the witness, Dina. All right.
Yeah, please. She got an apparatus going, it seems.
Chad, your 60 seconds starts.
Fight!
All right, Indiana Jones shows up and he's giving everybody a hard stare, including the dog, because the dog doesn't give a fuck, and neither does Indiana Jones, because he's busy staring down Cookie Monster, reading his mind, and knowing that he's a simple fool that can't think about anything else besides numbers and cookies. So Indiana Jones just continues to fucking hard stare at him and gives him the eye and says, "As long as you're not a fucking snake, you're done for, Cookie Monster, because I'm reading your mind and there's nothing there." So there's no plan. There's no plan at all. So, I can just stand here and hard stare at you like Indiana Jones with my stupid fucking hat on, and you're not going to do a goddamn thing, nor the dog, because the dog is smarter than you, because I read your mind. And your crisis, unless you're a snake, I got none, So, what am I missing here? I got, did I hit it all? Yeah, so basically I just stare you down to death and the dog dies in your arms. So,
Chad Ryan, why?
What the fuck?
okay.
Wow.
Let me back that up then.
How are you gonna kill a dog,
The dog's
bro?
alive, guys. I'm kidding. I love
Listen,
dogs.
all's
Dogs-
fair in love and war, folks. All's fair in love and war.
Except for
Daniel.
killing the dog.
You can take the killing the dog part out. That's when my career ends.
When the pressure is on and you're in a battle, no holds barred, man. Sorry, world.
Yeah, sorry guys.
All right.
But I do love dogs. And no harm to dogs.
No animals were harmed in the filming of this Superfights episode. Okay. Daniel's 30-second rebuttal.
Fight!
Here's what I want you guys to think about. Think about the whole catalog of Indiana Jones movies. I'll even take it further. The whole catalog of Harrison Ford movies. Have you ever seen this man dance? Ever. This man cannot dance. He is not a dancer. This is his kryptonite. He may think it's snakes, but you wonder why snakes bother him? They won't tell you a little bit of that dance movement. So now that he is forced into his most uncomfortable situation, he's got no chance left. He's gonna be done. He's got an existential crisis.
All right, all
Turning
right.
that off.
That's rude, Dina.
There's a time limit for a reason.
Yeah.
All right, Chad. Your 30-second rebuttal starts now.
Fight!
Listen, when the Ark of the Covenant opened, I didn't melt. Second, when they asked me to choose wisely, I fucking chose wisely. And I drank from the right grail, right? So, when I'm looking at you, Indiana Jones, and floating, because I can, with my hard stare locked in, like to the point to where the dog who didn't die is now in my hands, and I'm holding him and stroking him very gently, because I love dogs. And Indiana Jones only hates snakes.
This is the best part.
Very nice. Very
seamless.
nice. Oh, man.
Producer Sean, judgment.
All right, boys.
I know who he should pick.
Dina?
Well,
I'm sorry.
this is just incredible. I was really impressed by both of you. I was especially impressed that Chad Ryan nailed every single point in his initial 60 seconds and less than 40 seconds. And you know what?
I don't know.
Brevity.
You know what? Quigley, your creativity and your charisma and intensity in these battles is unmatched. However, I just don't see how forcing someone to dance wins you a fight. And for that reason, Chad wins this round.
This is BS. I
by the
blame
way,
Dina for poisoning the
Hard
well.
stare.
Yeah, the hard stare thing nailed it for me.
I mean,
the board.
listen, I like that
great.
Chad actually became Indiana Jones. It wasn't just, this is what India would do. It was,
Yeah, he did.
This is what I would do. And I got a little intimidated when he channeled.
You know what's funny is like it all just came as we did it. I was kind of worried about this because like I'm not necessarily the world's fastest on the fly, thinker. So, it's kind of cool how that unwraps, right? Like, I remember all those movies.
All right. So now I'm so pumped up about this because Chad Ryan's going to give us a reading. And the best part about this reading, and this is going to fall right in line with Ghost River by Chad Ryan. I asked him to find the most disturbing, the scariest reading that he could specifically for Dina, who is... See, Dina, would you say that you're a fan of horror and things of that nature?
No, I hate horror, and the movie from the 60s or 70s, The Murderers of the Rue Morgue. Oh my god, I had nightmares for months after I saw that. Ugh, I hate horror. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So if Chad gives Dina nightmares, this segment will have been an absolute success. So Chad,
stressing
take
out.
us away. Let's do this.
All right. I'm going to read a segment from Ghost River. It's pretty early on in the book. It introduces just some setup a little bit. The book takes place in a ghost town in the middle of the desert. And this is where a church is introduced and some of the characters are introduced that are a part of the story pretty early on. So there's a little bit of backstory. Silver moonlight spilled into the sanctuary of the chapel on the mound. Potato Sack, the biggest of the broken kids, hauled Esther over his blubbering shoulder past dusty pews toward the rickety pulpit. The coarse burlap of his mask and gown burned her skin and smelled like moist cobwebs. The eye holes were empty, flesh cold. The fevered snort of a desperate pig warmed the whole of her ear. She was a little girl again, with grimy knees, running through the cactus patches while the wild boars chased her. Feed, fuck, fury. Feed, fuck, fury. Feed. The crooked woman stood at the spider-webbed podium. Her back arched like a bent buzzard's neck, and her sharp fingers scratched symbols into the rotted wood of the dais. She wore a yellow dress stained with age. A tattered veil covered her pallid, scarred visage and black-eyed stare. Snarl, the boy wrapped in barbed wire, stood at her side, grinning like an obedient dog. Dirt on your knees, coyote. Esther spilled on the floor. She swung her shins over and sat up on her knees in the powdered sand. She lifted her gaze toward the cloudy rose window and clasped her hands together in prayer. Behind the crooked woman stood the dead tree, gnarled roots growing from the sacred dirt hill called the mound. Wind chimes and effigies dangled from spidery branches, jingling in the desert breeze. Luminarchs, soul dust butterflies, circled above the sacred dirt with glowing blue wings that pulsated like bottled fireflies in the ever-dark church. And what happens next is really fucked up. So if you want to hear what happens next, pick up Ghost River.
Oh, man, the first time that when I first read the boy in the barbed wire, that was the one, for whatever reason, that was the first one that really freaking got me, where I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Clive Barker, and lot of this book was based upon some fandom of myself for him and Stephen King and Pinhead and the Boy and Barbed Wire.
Amazing. So Dina, how are you feeling right now?
A little homage, if you will.
Okay.
Thunderstorm's helping you out there.
Yeah,
I was watching you the whole time. I saw your facial
I don't
expressions.
want to
Okay.
shut the door next to me right now.
yeah. I wanted to do more of an atmospheric read because there's some really brutal, horrific scenes, but kind of without the
Daniel's
context
been
or whatever. Yeah.
torturing me.
Yeah, I've been finding select passages just to get Dina when I could.
Okay.
And I will say, like, you are a beautiful writer, but I'm so scared. I don't like scary
that's
stuff.
okay. I will write other books. I'll write other books that won't be as crazy as Ghost River is.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Just assure Dina that no dogs were murdered in the course of Ghost
No.
River.
Yeah, no puppies.
None. No.
Oh,
It
man.
was so funny. We were chatting and we noticed that you were wearing a dog mother shirt. So I was
Yeah,
feeling,
I am. And
I was feeling
wine lover.
horrible.
Dog mother, wine mother. Perfect.
Wine lover.
Oh, man. All right.
Not wine mother.
So now let's transition to the happy, fluffy topics of getting to know Chad Ryan.
Yeah.
Yay, my topics are not fitting right now. All right, so am I just going?
Yeah,
Yeah.
do it, man.
Yeah.
All right. Does pizza taste different when it's square instead of cut into triangles?
Absolutely. Well, absolutely. It doesn't taste differently, no. There's different techniques to eat it, but not different.
Ooh, what's the
No,
favorite
it tastes
technique?
different.
Well, like, do you fold it in half? Do you create like a little origami crane with the square pizza? There's a lot of things.
You can create origami with your pizza? Is that like
I
something that
can.
you practice?
Yeah. I mean, who can't?
Yeah, who can't, Dina? Duh.
Yeah, exactly. You just get a massive slice and
Do you wait? So, like, are you one of those psychopaths that like eats it crust first?
no,
Like if it's a triangle.
no.
It's triangle.
Unless I have like a gallon vat of tomato sauce to like dip the crust into, I don't usually even eat the crust. I'm like, dude, that gets in the way of
You
cheese and the
monster!
sauce and everything else.
Why would you waste it?
Wait. So first you're judging him for if he ate it first, but now you're judging him for not eating it at all.
Okay, so listen, there was this.
Yeah, I've actually thought of this, in the past, and
There was this like exchange student in high school, and he fucking ate his crust first, and he started a whole trend in our high school where everybody had to eat their crust first. So that was the thing.
No, see, you need the crust to hold on to. That's why it has to be eaten last. But I agree. There's enough
No, your hands,
non-crusters.
your
I
thumb
like the
got
crust,
really
yeah.
messy.
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I like the crust, but I need to make it wet with like the
That's what
sauce,
she said.
right? I need that.
Drink, Dina.
That's the
Yeah.
drink buzzer, by the way.
I'm on it. Oh, okay, I like it. I can't see anybody right now, so it's kind of.
It's okay. We're not actually here.
Anyway,
We're all just ghosts.
Yeah, we can see you. It's not creepy.
And we found our promo.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fine. Do you have, or can you share, if you want to, your most embarrassing moment in elementary school?
Ooh.
Ugh. We
Yeah,
got an ugh.
the one that scarred me for life, I think, was the first time I decided to tell a girl that I liked her.
Oh, no.
But I had this whole plan, and the plan completely backfired. I wanted to indirectly kind of get her to admit that she liked me. So we were chatting in like this slide, one of those tube slides. We crawled in it or whatever. And I was like, so I heard a rumor that you like me. And she just flat looked at me and was like, no, never, not. And I was like, I don't know how to backtrack from that. And then, I was expecting totally for her to be like, of course, who said that? What a great opportunity for us to connect. Like, no, she's like,
She's like, absolutely not. I would have shut that
That's
down.
horrible.
yeah.
No,
Total
this
nerd,
little
yeah.
Little kids have no chill, man.
this kid actually
Yeah.
tried that with me in elementary school, except it
Yeah.
wound up in a marriage proposal. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it could have gone either way for you. You had a chance, and
And that's how
fucking
Dina met her
lost.
husband.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, no,
I never had any skills in the romance department for a lot of years, man.
Well, you're in good company in that case.
A lot of trial and error here.
I had all these grand schemes that never
So what
played
you're saying
out.
is you're basically the Wile E.
Daniel dated
Coyote
a
of
horse,
like
so.
dating schemes. Is that the?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Drink,
yeah.
Dina.
Oh shit! Damn it! Whatever. It was, it was a
Yeah.
good burn.
But it's
What-
weird how that one sticks with you, because it's like I remember being there. I don't remember much from my childhood, but I remember that. And I remember being in that playground thing, whatever was a tunnel, and I'm just like seeing her against the wall, just being like, no, dude, I don't like
dude.
you. It's like,
Dude, the elementary school ones stick with you, man. I had one where the girl that I had a crush on elementary school was actually going to move to France. So, like, I was like, you know what? I'm going to send one last love letter before she goes. Definitely got a letter back when she got to France. So I was like, yeah, hey, even across the country, not India, bud.
no, not into you. Not meant for everybody. Not meant for each other.
Damn.
That's
Y'all
our
had
segue
some
right
savage
into
experiences. Shit.
Available
Yeah.
for pre-order on Amazon.com.
Yeah.
Any more
what
questions,
is the
Tina?
superior for? Yeah, I've only asked 2, Sean. What the fuck?
I mean, I could tell you mine.
Dude.
Yeah, Sean, what do you got, bud?
Yeah.
Where's your heartache?
Go ahead.
I was.
Apparently, this
I
is
was,
Sean's show now. So
This is very quick. Okay, I was wearing sweatpants.
Oh no.
One of my classmates
did you pee yourself?
pantsed me in the tambark of the playground and underwear and
Oh,
all
no.
in front of everybody. I think I was 6 or 7. But it's one of those memories for me that I'll never forget. It was so horrifying.
Dina has opened up a can of
Oh my
worms
God.
here.
We all need therapy now.
Yeah, you just made me remember another one. There was this one time too where it happened. I think it happens to every kid. Like when you're sitting in class in elementary school, and either you or someone around you pees their pants, and like it literally runs down the chair and the desk, and everyone's just quiet, freaked out about it. I mean, that's another one of those moments where. I think it actually happened to me, if I remember correctly. I'm the one that did it, and just being like terrified, right? You're like, I am peeing my pants, and like, man.
how do you wait? Okay, I don't have that experience. So how do you like get so far that you? How does that happen? What?
Well,
Go to the
I'm
bathroom.
thinking pretty young in life, pretty young in life, I think when you were like first, second grade,
You were out of
Yeah,
diapers,
God,
right?
yes. Well, listen,
yeah.
it's one of those things
Yeah,
where
out
you
of
don't want to
diapers.
stop what you're doing. Like you're either playing a game, you're in a
right. You lose focus.
you're in some
exactly.
reading rainbow glory, and you're just like, I can hold it, but I'm 6 and I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It might be like maybe it's a boy thing too. I don't know. I mean, but my son has had that situation too, where he's like all into video games or YouTube or whatever, and he just refuses to go. And then all of a sudden, it's like I had an accident. Yeah. But you learn real quick after that happens, especially like in the middle of the classroom. You're like,
I mean, at least you
make
didn't
sure
shit
get up,
yourself and then wake
Yeah,
up.
shout out to episode 1.
Oh Lord.
He said what?
Yeah.
Maybe you. Check it out.
Yep.
I
And
did
her
that.
mother literally didn't find out that she was a culprit until she listened to our episode.
Wow. So your mom listens and watches too.
Shout
That's
out
awesome.
to Diane.
Oh, she does, and it's so. Oh my god. Yep. Mom listens. Mom listens to everything.
All right, Dina, what else you got for
Am
us?
I still supposed
Yeah,
to ask
that's good.
questions,
Sorry.
or is this still the Sean show?
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Oh, am I still going? Okay. What's the superior form of potato?
Ooh.
Nobody can hear me. Oh my
No,
god.
I heard you. We heard the potato question.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
We hear you.
Oh. Answer the fucking
Can you not
question.
hear
then.
us?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The superior form of potato has got to be the sweet potato, right? I mean, I don't know. Which ones of those
No,
ones
like
are like
I'm talking about
A
like
preparation.
like French fries or hash brown. Yeah,
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
Or mashed.
I got to go with French fries. I'm not a huge fan of potato, and I think the salt on French fries and the fry and the deep frying of it it makes it work.
I
for
mean,
me.
French fries basically go with everything.
But what kind of French fry?
Oh, I like those like garlic parm fries.
Oh, yeah.
We've got like this.
they're, like,
We've got
thin
like
or
this
they
place
thick?
called Smash Burger here, where you can get like these rosemary garlic
Not a sponsor.
fries. And just
That,
to
I'm
die
on
for.
board with that. That sounds outstanding.
Mhm.
Can't relate. If you had to throw a book at your enemy, which book would it be, and why?
Oh my goodness. These questions. I'm going to give my answer, and I'm going to get a ton of hate mail, and I'm going to get a ton of Twitter hate for this, but I would have to throw Twilight.
I should talk Twilight in every show. I love it.
Yeah, I get it's got a hardcore fan base. I'm not dogging on people who like Twilight, but I got a lot of problems with that book, and like, just as a horror guy, a vampire guy, as a writer guy, it's just like, and it's probably pure jealousy, right? That book is totally
but then 50
successful.
Shades of Grey was totally successful. I don't think success necessarily equates to good. And oh my god, I'm sorry, all 50 Shades of Grey fans. That's on me, guys.
There's a lot of luck in publishing, man. There's a lot of luck, and when things hit, they hit. And I think a lot of people, authors and writers, may get a little bit too dream-eyed about it, right? Because there's thing, if you're going to do a 50 Shades of Grey or a Twilight or Harry Potter, that's like lightning strikes, billions of dollars.
Oh man,
so.
Well, I don't think there's been an episode in the last 3 or 4 that we haven't brought up Twilight at one point or another.
It's been a weird one. Yeah, it's weird.
Is it really? Yeah.
I shit talk the fuck out of it.
Well, and I typically don't I don't hate on books because honestly, like writing any books is hard, right?
All right, guys. We are going to get into the author portion, and this is something that I've been very, very excited about doing because there is a lot to unpack in Ghost River by Chad Ryan, available through Lost Boys Press, anywhere you can buy books, I assume.
Yeah, pretty much everywhere. Yeah.
I haven't checked. Yeah. I haven't checked eBay if Ghost River's on eBay, but
What always cracks me up is when I find like the used copies. Like there's people selling like used copies on Amazon. I'm like, in a way, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's legit.
Moving it around,
It's getting the circulation. So there's a lot of things that I want to get into. Mm-hmm. But the first thing, because this is like a trope that we've talked about in the past. Are you familiar with the save the cat kind of motif and how to build and write a book?
Absolutely. Yep.
You believe in not only killing that little bastard cat, but killing the cat's family, its friends, anyone that's even looked at the cat. So when you came into writing this, was it your goal to just say, fuck you, fuck your rules, fuck how this book is supposed to be written, I'm going to make this?
Yeah. That's exactly, you nailed it, spot on. I wanted to create an anti-book book. I wanted to create something that was both ugly and beautiful, something that was both literary and trashy. I wanted Ghost River to be something that was just opposing forces all contained into an experience, because that is what I think what makes it special as an experience, because people don't know how to feel or who to root for or what's going on, but they can't stop because the pressure is on them to keep going. I've studied, like I said, I have an English literature degree, and in my writing course, I do talk about beats because I do think there's a lot of I do think writers need to learn how to write. And I think writers need to, in order to break a rule, I think you need to know what the rules are. And I know a lot of writers are like, oh, there should be no rules in writing. Okay, that's fine. But you kind of need to be able to justify the decisions that you make. Or else people look at completely experimental stuff and like, that's gibberish. I don't know. What are you trying to do here? And then it's up to the author to be like, well, here's what I was trying to accomplish based upon this and that and the other thing. Ghost River to me was, I wanted to hit the market hard. It was a risky book. Obviously, there's a lot of controversial stuff in it. But I wanted to create a horror experience like I've always wanted to read, where the reader is essentially experiencing it through the characters. They're feeling it, they're visualizing it. I want people to close their eyes and envision it, because to me, that type of horror and immersion is what works. And for me, the plot, like the beats and stuff, there is some stuff there that is cognizant of the beats, but I like to flip it around because, again, I know what I'm calling back to, and I know what I'm trying to accomplish when I do that. So.
And so that was the part that I thought was so interesting, because when I started reading this, like, I think that there's some like preconceived safety nets that as a reader or as a viewer, you kind of just get used to, even in things that are, horror genre, gore genre, things like that. You can understand that the little girl with her teddy bear, we wouldn't possibly kill her in the first 10 pages of the
Kill
book.
that bitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
you should read Ghost River,
Kill that bitch. Fuck the
And
girl
so
with the
like,
teddy bear.
yeah. And like, you know, even some of these main characters that you set up, you're willing to not only kill them, but just get you out of that comfort zone. So it's not always so much the depiction of the graphic violence, the things like that. It's you don't let me be comfortable at any point in this book.
No, that was my goal, because I was never comfortable when I wrote this book. And for me, it was where I put I make a joke. I'm like, Ghost River is a book of the time. I wrote it in 2020, but it may not be a book for the times right now, but it is seriously a book of the time, because I needed a place when I wrote it to stick all of the anxiety and concern and the numbness and just like the, trying to maintain some sort of beauty in a world that's just fucking haywire. And that's where I put all that, and that's where that story, came from. And I don't know if I'll ever write, and I kind of hope that I don't maybe write another book like that again, because it was really emotionally hard. And it was like, it's a testament to being able to get through it, like we talked about with the structure and actually writing the novel, because it was not only hard, it was, I was very numb, and that's what I wanted to present there. I wanted to almost create like a forensic analysis of this anxiety and this horror and these forces and these people who aren't perfect, just trying to do something, because their lives are where they are. They're stuck in that place, just like I felt stuck in 2020. So
yeah, and that's I love that answer. I love that whole idea behind it, because I mean, I think that, the scene kind of sets up everything. So I mean, for the readers at home, take us through kind of the baseline setting of where your book is taking place, kind of in terms of, obviously it sprawls out more, but our base camp.
Yeah, base camp for me is a depiction of where I grew up. I grew up in Arizona. I grew up in the desert. I grew up in a suburbia right on the border of an Indian reservation.
It's beautiful.
Sorry, I burped as the beer
we
comes
do it
out.
all the time. It's carbonated drinks, bro.
Yeah,
It's part of it.
but so it takes place. I grew up as a child of the desert. I used to go out and run and play and catch lizards and catch snakes, similar to the characters in the book, like Marcus and Minister. They grew up in a similar type of place I grew up, and it to me it shows the beauty of the desert, which I always think is a very, very, people kind of miss it. They're like, it's just like rocks and shrubs and cactus. Well, no, there's some beautiful stuff in the desert and stuff you can't see anywhere else. It looks like a different planet that you're playing in. However, it is an extremely savage place. Everything in the desert is trying to kill you. It is. I mean, cactuses have thorns, snakes have fangs, scorpions have tails, and that is who you're surrounded with in the desert. So it was a perfect setting for Ghost River, because for the characters, just everything is trying to kill them, and the book itself is trying to kill the reader. So it gets intense.
And I love that. And so like that was one of the biggest themes I kind of saw in that is the choices and the illusion of choices, where it's like, sometimes you could make the argument like, hey, listen, you didn't have to do this, but then you would also have died. So it's, how was that theme, you're kind of exploring the almost fantasy of choice.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. One of the taglines for my book is "Salvation is suffering," and it is the illusion. Everyone in Ghost River, and I don't want to do spoilers or really too much, but there's a recognition that happens for each character in the book about identity and who they are, and is there an out? Is there not an out? Was there ever an out to begin with? And if there is, what happens after? It's a book of hard choices. It's a book of completely gray characters. And they're people trying, and not only people, but monsters, people who are monsters who are people. Everybody is trying to do something there and to escape just this black freaking hole of immorality. You know, they just can't escape it. So, you know, what happens to a hero in a world where there are no heroes? And that's really what I wanted to hit with Ghost River, because they're not.
Yeah, that is a
not
line.
only
right
heroes. You know. Yeah.
And so you know, kind of going to the style of your writing. One of the things I noticed is that and it's one of my biggest pet peeves in books, and one of the hardest things that me as a writer too, that I like, you know, it always makes me feel like a hypocrite, where I hate info dumps, but man, it's so hard not to do info dumps. And one of the things I noticed in Ghost River is that you really just say, listen, you just need to stop trying to understand everything that's going on. Just keep reading the books. If you'll either pick it up through context or just deal with it.
Yep. No, and again, it's another style choice that I went with, because I'm like you. I think in this day and age of shorter attention spans, but more importantly than attention spans through long exposition or whatever, is the fact that people, writers in particular, they underestimate their ability to intrigue someone's imagination. Okay, I don't want to just spoon feed you every single detail so you can see it as I see it. I'm going to give you the high points in almost a cinematic way, using specific words that make you feel something, see something, call back to a memory that you can connect to make you feel the story. To me, that is what writing is all about. As a storyteller, that is what writing should be about, right? I don't want words I don't care about writing. I'm not some guy like, my craft is great, I'm James Joyce. It doesn't matter to me. I want you to see the story and be like, I love it. I feel it. You know, it's something fresh and different. So yeah, you know, I teach that too. I'm like, you know, guys, don't spend your first couple chapters giving you the backstory to some fantastical world that you built. Just drop your characters in there and let them live in that world and explain it as they experience the story.
Dina's so happy right now.
No, I really am. I'm awestruck because I've had so many fucking people shit on me, because that's me, and that's how I write, and I get shit on all the time by betas and shit, and it fucking drives me crazy.
I mean, I'll say, like Daniel said, I mean, my number one, if I were to go back and change anything about Ghost River, maybe I would just clarify some of the characters. I use a lot of names and stuff because names are a convention in the book, and there's names that are talked, the importance of names, exactly. So I did that kind of intentionally, but you know, it can be a little bit confusing. But the people that stuck through the first 2 or 3 chapters are like, bing, and then they're in, and they don't even know what they're in for, but they're in, and they want to keep going. So yeah, I'm with you, Dina. I have a hard time finishing books that I feel like are wasting my time by not letting my imagination do what it wants to do. Because
I want to create that world in my mind when I'm reading, and I try to do that to people that are reading my stuff, and like nobody does that anymore. It drives me crazy.
And you know, one way to do it is you just kind of like pick a few things in the environment that you want the reader to focus on. Like maybe a television is important, and you just kind of talk about what's going on the TV. You don't need to talk about what's going on the TV. You don't need to talk about what's happening on the stove. You don't need to talk about what's going on in the refrigerator. Who gives a fuck? You know,
I agree.
You know,
so. No, and that was the thing that I thought was also really interesting, and this is what to me made what oftentimes is a very dark and disturbing and, you know, like you said, fucked up story, easy to digest and to keep going, is that you kept your scenes short. There was never, you know, long things. You know, you're constantly switching me from one area to the next. You want me to keep running and moving on. And it's funny because, like, you know, the first couple times, like, okay, here's a reprieve. No, actually, this is just going to be fucked up, but from a different spot.
A different angle. Right. Yeah, I use a lot of repetition, and I do that on purpose, but the repetition is always evolving as the story is also evolving. I think I'm sorry, I lost my thought. What was your point again?
Beats, the quick, I was thinking about how we quickly went through scenes.
The length of the scenes. One thing that I pride myself on is I think I'm a pretty tight scene writer. I add just what I think is necessary, and like we just talked about, like I don't want to waste readers' time, but I want to make the characters very, very deep. So I have to do that with a limited amount of resources, because I do want people to just keep going. And I think why Ghost River worked and works is because the characters are developed enough as it's going along to where you don't break the golden rule that I always tell other writers too, is people have to they have to care. They have to be connected. They don't have to like necessarily, but they have to be connected to the outcome here somehow, because the character is the vessel of that. So I focus on, I see books and scenes almost like a movie, and almost like I'm just writing. I'm a third party observer there, and I'm just recording what I see through my eyes, and I don't see everything that's going on in the other room, in the refrigerator, and these people are talking about this next scene. These people are doing this next scene. But there is pacing to consider too. So don't get me wrong there, but pacing is important. But
all right, so I got one more big one before we start getting into some of our kind of fun, goofy questions, and I also want to talk a little bit about some of the anthologies. You kind of hit on it earlier, and it made me really interested in just, when we were talking about the Barbed Wire Boy and how he was an homage to, some of these horror, filmmakers and stuff. Talk to me about The Broken Kids. Talk to me about kind of where that inspiration came from. Yeah.
So The Broken Kids to me was, again, a throwback to another one of my heroes. Of course, every writer's like Stephen King, but I'm a horror guy. I grew up reading Stephen King. I collect Stephen King books, and I'm a fan just like everybody else. But yeah, that was a throwback to me of Children of the Corn a little bit. And obviously the movie is different than the story. And it's kind of weird. Children of the Corn, the movie is almost more iconic than the story, but that's kind of where I ran with it, just because that's just ingrained to everyone's in the head. But it was a challenging thing to tackle, because obviously it's kids, and it's a scary horror element of these people, these children who are pretty much raised from the dead.
All right, so. Man, like I said, I could sit here and talk about this forever. I might even have to schedule a private one-on-one writer chat with you.
Yeah.
But hey,
I can come back.
All right, you heard him, folks. He said that's a verbal contract. He's willing to come back.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you got to come back now.
Yep.
Yeah, after the Indiana Jones debacle.
For the dogs.
Yeah, the Humane Society.
Depends on if Twitter cancels you or not. But
so
you're
let's
always
talk
welcome
about
back.
these anthologies, because in my own personal book, not to plug my book that is not published and nowhere near being published, but I love magical creatures. I love the mythology. I love just not just your traditional dragons and griffins. I love all the crazy different unique ones. Yep. And you did in anthologies. I almost feel I usually get bored with them, because it's we're going to do rogues, or this is a fantasy one. Yeah. You came out and said, Chimera, this is going to be about all the fantastic
Chimera.
Oh, is it Chimera? Have I been wrong this whole time? I thought it was Chimera.
Chimera.
Oh God. Of course,
it's
I'm staying. I am just staying.
I thought it was Chimichanga.
Just like my name is Cad.
Yeah, I just want you to know, when this goes up on YouTube, we're definitely going to change your name right here to Cad Ryan.
Cad Ryan, yeah. Won't be the first time he's called a Cad.
But yeah, so talk to me about Chimera. God, now I don't even know how to pronounce this anymore. It's in my head. All right.
Oh my God.
Damn it. I was so confident. I was writing her.
Yeah.
All right. Talk to me about this anthology, how it came together, and what the idea was.
Yeah. Yeah, so I work,
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry to interrupt. Can somebody just fucking tell me what a chimera is supposed to fucking be if I don't have the right thing in my head?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's a shape-shifting pet, right?
It's...
What the fuck?
A chimera is from Greek mythology. It's like a fire-breathing monster with a lion's head,
tail,
dragon's
They can't
wings.
shapeshift?
Scorpion tail, like the manticore. No.
Not that I know of.
Then you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm talking about a different animal that is a chimera.
We're gonna have we're gonna have the new cilantro debate. Sorry,
right.
so sorry. Take us through
Hold
the
on, Chad, because I feel like we didn't explain
I'm
this
sorry,
to you. We were talking about Chimera on a previous episode that I don't even think has been released yet.
Oh, okay.
And Daniel said the word Chimera, and Dina said, wait, what? It's Chimera? I thought it was Chimera. And we had a whole conversation about it. And then Dina was like, oh man, now Chad's never going to come on the show.
Okay, wait. I had I've told them from day one that I wanted you on the show because I think that you're amazing at what you do.
True story.
True story. I think that you are awesome at everything that you do, and like I admire all the work that you've done for the writing community. Yeah. So that being said, I was convinced after I fucked up the title that I was not gonna get you on the show, and then it was like the next day or whatever. I messaged. That was when we tweeted, and I messaged Sean. And I was like, "Wait the fuck
It was like the next day that we booked you."
Yeah. Well, I'll have to give a shout out to Rain because Rain on Twitter was like all about me coming on the show, so I'm glad she turned me on to it.
And listen, Rain is literally a follower of the show because how me and Dina even met is she literally put out a tweet that said, Dina should be on a podcast. Who wants to be a co-host? I was like, I'll be a co-host, Dina. And that's our origin story.
Yeah. She really did start it. Like she wanted my stories and everything on a podcast, and she was like, somebody make this happen, and Daniel signed up, and I was like, all right, let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
You're welcome. That's the origin.
Yeah, then I met Daniel, and then I met Dina. So were you guys not a podcast when I met you, or were you already a podcast?
No.
Oh, wow.
No, we were not.
We've only been doing this for a little over a month at this point.
Oh, cool. You guys are running a pretty tight ship. Except for Gina and her apparatuses.
Are we talking about the wine bra?
her harnesses, yeah.
And she's back at it.
She's back at it.
Yeah.
It was a little warm, so it kind of turned me off. So I was like,
"Oh man! All right, so we've gotten sidetracked again." Shimmer.
Yeah. Chimera.
Chimera. Go ahead.
Chimera.
Yeah, so we launched our first anthology a few months back. We do anthologies all the time, and we take submissions from, like we talked about a little bit ago, from indie writers in the community and people that want to, do something because, Chimera and all of our anthologies, and I give great credit to Ashley, my partner in Lost Boys. She's the editor-in-chief. She runs editorial. She edited my book. She edits a lot of stuff. She reads a ton of books, and she knows exactly what would be an interesting premise. She's like, how could we make anthologies interesting? Let's just not have a spooky anthology. Let's take a topic or give a parameter set that hasn't been done before and try to get the best, most interesting stories possible. So Chimera and Not Meant for Each Other were born. Chimera is all about creature swap fiction. That's how she pitched it to me. What the hell does that mean? Creature swap fiction. She's like, well, you take a unicorn, with the powers of a mermaid or a siren, a unicorn that is able to seduce people and kill them with her horn or whatever. It's like, that's pretty cool, So she put the call out there for that, and we got some amazing stories. And Chimera is one of those that is kind of horror driven, but because the nature of the theme, right? Creatures, beasts. However, there are some twists in the road in that anthology that don't rely on horror so much, but Not Meant for Each Other is the same thing, where it's like we did the call out for reverse romance. We're sick of hearing about love stories. Let's hear about breakups.
And so let's get into that, because that's such an unbelievably difficult pitch. Hey, listen, we want a book where everything we're going to tell everyone from the get-go, this is not going to end well.
No happy endings.
And everyone's pumped up about this book.
Yeah. Dude,
and
my biggest struggle.
Excerpts I've heard, I'm like, man, I like happy endings. I'm a golden retriever, but I really am interested in this.
It kind of harkens back to what we were talking about before about Lost Boys spirit. We like to break rules, and we like to say that you don't, there's a lot of saying out there romance readers expect the compact of a happy ending. They expect it. They want it. If you don't provide it, it fails. And we're like, well, there's a lot of stories out there where there ain't a happy ending, and to keep it real, a lot of things don't
Dina's
work
struggling with this idea right now.
No, she loves the idea. She hates that.
Yeah.
No. I like the idea. Yeah, everything that I write, not a happy ending. I don't like it.
Well,
Chad's like, here, do you know my number? Being
the beacon of sunshine and happy writing that I am,
Oh man.
But yeah, so having a breakup twist was really cool. And again, what's cool about the anthology is we didn't want to just have the same breakup story. It's not like Fabio and somebody breaking up 10 times in the book. It's stories from all different perspectives, all different genres, fantasy, science fiction, horror. And our main goal of it was let's break out the main emotions people feel when they break up, and write a story about each one of those, or accept a story that focuses on each one of those type of things. So Ashley nailed it. I mean, this book is freaking wild. I mean, there's a story about the Beatles in it. There's a story about a tree ant that falls in love with the wind. Yeah. I mean, it's just insane.
Can't wait.
All the different.
Yeah, like when we had Jess on here and she was talking about her.
It's Nameless. Yeah. Her story is fantastic. I mean, all the stories are just like in Chimera. I mean, it was like home runs, because that's a testament to the talent that's around us every day on social media. Right? I mean, we're friends with a lot of writers. We're friends with the writing community, and they supplied most of the stories for us.
Yeah, I mean, and so like I said, I'm so pumped to read it. So I don't screw up the name. Tell us what these two anthologies are and where we can find them.
Yeah, Chimera is available. Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. I mean, anywhere you buy books, essentially. Same thing with Not Meant for Each Other. Pre-orders up right now. You can, follow us on Twitter or Instagram or whatever to find them. But yeah, then pre-orders are live.
Man, that's pumped up.
We're off to the races on it.
But if you want the hardcover like me, you got to wait until June 24th
yes.
to get
right
when the book drops.
Yeah. Yeah, but paperbacks and ebooks you can get.
All right, so we are going to transition to the portion of the show where me and Dina each try to throw you a little bit of a curveball, get a little crazy with a question.
Oh, wait, no, hold up.
It's going to be a little off
You
brand.
didn't warn me about this. I don't have one again. Fucking hell. Go ahead. Do your thing.
It's on the run of show, Dina. Every time it's on the run of show.
On the run of show, Dina.
You're supposed to be the responsible one. I'm the irresponsible one, Dina.
No. Okay, go ahead with your... Wait, okay.
All right. So, Chad, the story is actually going to be a little off-brand for me. I'm going to talk to you with one more Ghost River question. So, we're over here in Chapter 4, and I'm following the journey of a little tortoise running across the town square.
Oh, Lord.
Ooh.
And,
yeah. I forgot I had a tortoise in there.
After some agony, one of our characters, Marcus, kicks it, and I quote, "The bloodroot suckled the dying tortoise." So my question is, how dare you?
I know.
Guys,
thanks for reminding me of that. I'm now a proud owner of a real tortoise, and I forgot that I killed one off in the book, because I killed everything off, guys. The book is called "Everything Dies in the Desert." That's the tag. Ghost River.
I just need to.
We promise Chad Ryan is not an animal hater for the listeners at home.
Don't come for us.
Chad,
this podcast is going to ruin
Chad,
me.
I just need to know: is Lenny, your tortoise, okay?
Yes, he's doing it fantastic. We got this little tortoise, and they live like 80 years. They live in your backyard.
Probably outlive all of us.
They do.
It's illegal to touch them in Florida. Don't do it if you're in Florida. Okay.
No, we don't pick him up or this kind of thing where he just lives back there. You don't have to feed him or water him. He grazes on grass. He drinks from the sprinkler systems, and I grew up here in Arizona, like I mentioned before. Everybody that I knew had these things in their backyard, and they make families and they live there forever. These tortoises. So we had the opportunity to adopt this one, and I was like, I love these things, especially because they're kind of like the masters of supply and demand, because you don't see them often, and when you do, it becomes a really special moment because he's out walking around. You're like, oh, this is the greatest
my tortoise.
pet.
So I got to ask though,
it's fantastic.
Is the name Lenny? Are we going literary here, video game, or other?
Yeah, it's a video game. My kids wanted to name it Lenny after the Mario Brothers kid, which we found out was actually Lemmy.
It's Lemmy,
after the fact. But they're like, let's Lenny, from Mario Brothers. So that's what we went with. And so we call him both names now. So he's either Lenny or Lemmy, depending on.
That's amazing.
He's named after the Koopa
All right, Dina,
kid.
are you ready? Are you ready to drop the big question?
Yeah.
You know what?
So much
I
pressure.
actually had a question just planned just a minute ago, but I was like, you know what? Fuck it, because we skipped over this the entire fucking episode. Lost Boys Press, is that any correlation to the movie whatsoever?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
Or to Peter Pan.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more to Peter Pan. It's the independent spirit. It's chasing your shadow. It's the whole dare to be
I was
different.
right. It's Peter
you
Pan.
know,
It's
do
not the
that kind of
movie.
thing.
Fuck the movie.
Great question.
It's about Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
Sorry.
Funny story
the Lost
about
Boys
that.
movie. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, finish your thought. I'll tell the story in a second.
I was going to say there is some inspiration from Peter
I saw
Pan
no
in
correlation,
the
so
Lost
fuck
Boys
off.
film as
Yeah.
well.
I don't really remember.
Oh my goodness.
No,
You probably didn't even remember what
Don't.
happened 5 seconds
I know
after
that
the
there
movie was over.
vampires and that like the grandpa from Gilmore Girls.
Do they sparkle?
Spoiler alert: the grandpa from
sparkling.
Gilmore Girls. He was the bad guy, and then Grandpa came in. He came in like
Oh my
he drove
goodness.
his car through the wall, right? I think he did. Yeah, right.
No, Peter Pan.
Lost Boys?
Or are we talking about Gilmore Girls?
Yeah. Guys, as your resident Gilmore Girls expert,
I'll be the expert. He did not drive his car
like
through
to tell you.
Through the wall. All that he did was take Emily out of her car because he was like, "Bitch, you're not going with anybody else." Okay, sorry.
yeah.
Oh my God.
You want to
Wait,
do Dawson's
wait,
We're
wait.
doing
Creek
next time
trivia? I'll
Chad
crush
comes
it.
on, we're gonna have Dawson's Creek.
Dawson
Be
Creek
highly
Oh,
rated.
man.
Don't Make
Yes,
a Weird
please.
podcast. We're gonna go Dawson's Creek.
Oh, God. I
God.
Yeah, I had such a crush on Katie Holmes.
No kidding.
Who didn't?
All right. So, Chad,
Yeah.
we're now getting down to my favorite part of the show. This is going to be this.
You pervert.
I get
You
really
fucking
excited
pervert.
about
Every
this.
part of the show is your favorite. Every segment,
Sean
you're
is,
like,
Sean
this
is
is
going
my
to sit here
favorite
and just
segment.
smash cut.
Did Dina ask a
this is-
question, or did I miss it?
She asked about Lost Boys
Yeah,
Press.
you had a story
remember?
about
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Hold on,
Oh,
hold
yeah.
on.
So, yeah,
Before I
yeah,
even move
yeah,
on,
okay,
you had a
I got you.
story, and I don't want to screw that up. Let's
Yeah, this is funny because like when my partner Ashley, she came up with the Lost Boys Press, and I was like, really, the movie? You know, like really, that's what it's going to be about. And then I'm like, do we want to gender us? Do we want to be law? What does this mean? You know, and she's like, no, dude, Peter Pan, Lost Boys, you know, Wendy, everybody's included. It's just the idea of daring to be
that is
different
actually-
and flying into
shout
the
out
moon.
Ashley,
And I'm
that
like,
is-
brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, and so big
That is incredible.
big props to her.
Well,
Yeah, big props to her.
Now we get to have a steamy romance read. So for the folks at home, what? Stop trying
Hold
to
up.
deny me the romance.
Hold up. Hold the fuck up. No, because here's the thing. I'm not going to let Wes get away with this. I just buffaloed my fucking self, and I'm not
did.
going to let him go down and tweet about it later.
I totally missed
I'm
it.
not gonna
Can't
do
see.
it.
Yeah, but she's like
By the
kind
way,
of breaking
I
up on
was
the video.
whole
Yeah.
episode.
Chad, if
Oh,
you
yeah.
notice it,
Fuck.
call it out. Say Buffalo Dina.
Yeah, she's grabbing with
Yeah,
this
go ahead.
buffalo.
Yeah, we got the sound
ahead.
effects for it, man. It's gonna be.
Buffalo.
Oh no,
Fucking
Dina,
hell.
no,
Oh,
no.
wait, I almost did it with my right hand too.
Oh
wait,
my
I don't
God.
do it. Okay.
You're
I
allowed
won't
to
let
hold
Wes-
your wine bra with your right
she's
hand. It's okay. As long as the straw's in your left.
Dina, no. By the
Oh,
way, Dina
God.
graduated college when
It's
she was
like a
still
weird
underage.
beer
So this
bong.
is like her reliving, like having her college years now.
Dude.
Yeah, this is her sorority
This is
experience
why
right
I don't
here.
want kids, because this is my sorority experience.
The funny thing is, my college years didn't have any of that. It was like in my 20s, I was all of a sudden doing beer
we are
bongs.
living vicariously.
It's a weird journey.
No,
Yeah.
I had to drink very carefully
That's
in
okay.
college because I was underage. So
Yeah. I didn't have my first drink or do any drugs or anything until like 18, 19 years old. Like I was way late.
So hold on. So I'm
All
gonna
right,
go.
so bad romance read.
I'm going to go
Let's
a
do it.
curveball from even
Let's
what I
do it.
had, because the other one I
No.
had I think is more insane. But you said you're a huge Stephen King fan, right?
no.
So what we have here, so a little bit of backdrop.
Yeah.
There's a list that comes out every year where they select the worst sex scene in all of literary books and put it on this list. This is a curated list. So we have 27 years of the single worst sex scenes in any book. We did not come up with this list. We just found Google. Yeah, just listen. We've gotten some
It's like men writing women type stuff.
and so this.
Yep,
Yeah, a lot of the
for
time
sure.
it
particular
is.
scene. I'm about to go
Fucking
hit send
go.
so you can get your Twitter ready. This is number 10 on the list.
All right.
And this is from 11/22/63 by Stephen King. All right, go check it out for yourself, man.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Oh, ignore.
I'm here.
Oh,
I'm
you
here.
got
I'm
both
waiting
of
for
them.
it.
Shit.
got
There
it?
is.
Well, if you want to do a double reading,
All
you can.
right.
Otherwise, just skip down to number 10.
Yeah, I got 2 here.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Number 10.
All right. Number 10. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Whenever you're ready, Chad.
All right. She said, "Don't make me wait. I've had enough of that." And so I kissed the sweaty hollow of her temple and moved my hips forward. She gasped, retreated a little, then raised her hips to meet me. "Sadie." "All right?" "Oh my God, yes," she said, and I laughed. She opened her eyes and I looked up at me with curiosity and hopefulness. "Is it over? Or is there more?" "A little more," I said. "I don't know how much. I haven't been with a woman in a long time." It turned out there was quite a bit more. At the end, she began to gasp. "Oh dear, oh dear. Oh my dear God. Oh sugar."
That was incredible.
Are you telling me?
Stephen King wrote that. That is a Stephen.
Are you telling me
As soon as
Stephen
he
King
told me
wrote
Stephen King,
that?
I knew I had to switch up.
Allegedly.
All right, I need you to edit out all of the Stephen King fan praise.
So here's what really got me. My dog growing up was named Sadie.
Oh no, my dog currently is named Sadie.
Oh,
No.
Oh, my favorite part is just like the. Are we?
yeah, negotiating the how much more do you have?
Is this over? No, there is more.
Oh, I've got more. How much
Please no
more? As more as I give you. I'll keep giving you as more as I have.
Please no more.
I'll tell you when the more is over. You'll know it.
That's my favorite part about these books is that it's like this had to go through an editor, maybe an agent, maybe a beta reader,
Yeah.
and they all had to say, you know what?
Yeah.
I like this scene.
Yeah.
This is.
I mean, I think as a writer, when you write something and you're close to it, it sounds brilliant. And even editors and stuff feel brilliant. I mean, but every writer has, like, when they read, especially old stuff or even stuff in books that they like I'll read some patches in Ghost River and I'll get cringe. I'll be like, ooh, maybe I should have cleaned that up a little bit or whatever. But it just, that's why a lot of the times I don't read a lot of my stuff, like, to study it. Like, I'll come in here and do a podcast and read from it or whatever. But I like the idea of just, like, putting it out there
And just
is
letting
what
it,
is,
fly away. Yep.
Enjoy.
I mean, listen,
Yeah.
we've been
Find
trying
its
to
people,
hack into, or Dina herself is trying to hack into her own personal story that she wrote, like, when she was super young, so that we could get passages.
God, if anybody out there can just, like, fucking hack a Word doc for me, that would be great, because I wrote 50 Shades of Grey before 50 Shades of Grey came out, and I was like 11. So
Was it with
it's gonna be
Edward
fucking good.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do a dramatic reading
was-
of early Dina's work, but hasn't worked out for us.
You know it's gonna be fucking good. 11-year-old writes
Well,
50 Shades of Grey.
if you want me to come on and read it, I'll be happy
Oh
to.
my God, we have to do
yeah.
this. If we can get Chad
Oh my
Ryan
God.
to read
You know what?
Dina.
Sam, okay, wait. Sam, can you please go ahead and keep working on that document, please, instead of...
Is there more?
Yeah.
Can I have more?
I told him
please?
to not
Give me
work on it
more.
anymore, but now I need him to, because...
Oh, there's more. How much more do you want?
He's already quoting our sex scene back to us.
Oh.
How's your hero looking now, Chad?
Oh, that was so fast. It's over already. Can I have more?
That's my wife every single time. I mean, sorry, what?
Can I have more, please? It's like the scene from that movie. Was it Christmas Carol?
Please, can I have some more?
No, not Christmas
Charles
Carol.
Dickens.
Dickens.
Charles Dickens. What is it?
Yeah.
I forget. You know what I mean. Please,
Oliver Twist.
Have some other.
Oliver
Twist.
It is.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. So, Chad, this is a portion of the show. First, you're gonna have 1 second to pitch your book, and then we'll give you like a full time. But let's see what you can come up with in 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Literally 1 second.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what sells it.
1 second.
I know what sells it.
Literally 1
I'm
second.
gonna go on 3. 3, 2, 1.
Demonic sex tentacles.
I didn't even get a chance to get to the fuck squid. That's in my notes.
Yeah, the fuck squid was actually in the character pool for the game as well.
I would have loved to play that game with the fuck squid.
But don't worry, there'll be future.
Next time I'm on, let me play that game with the fuck squid. That'll be easy.
The fuck squid. I just look forward to some future guest in our show doing Super Fight and then having fuck squid and being like,
yeah.
All right, so give us the full pitch. Now that we've had demonic
Elevator
tentacle
pitch.
sex demon.
Yeah.
So that was
elevator
give me the
pitch.
elevator.
Yeah, elevator pitch for Ghost River is pretty simple. It's a group of people and monsters who are trapped in a situation and a living curse that they have to try to escape, and if it's possible. The book, spans over 30 years and covers all kinds of times, dimensions. It's a book about people. It's a book about monsters. It's a book about monsters who are people and people who are monsters. It's just ultimately a living nightmare experience. It's a roller coaster ride. So if you like horror and if you like books that are, like we talked about earlier, done differently or trying to be done differently, do check out Ghost River. However, do mind the content warning, because I do broach a lot of sensitive subjects and taboo things, and I go, for lack of a better term, head on. I don't pull punches, and I don't try to exploit it either. But I do try to go into some places that make people uncomfortable, but it's a horror book.
I think your 1 second pitch kind of conveyed that message already.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is I've obviously I try to sell books, and I do analytics on my social media and stuff. And whenever I talk about demonic sex tentacles, you see the KDP and the Amazon numbers go way up. So there's a whole audience there.
So for folks at home, if you really want to write a best-selling book, talk about
demonic sex tentacles,
fuck squids,
because
you know where it's at.
Or just add a fuck squid to your existing book. It'll be great. The quirky
what
neighbors.
Story couldn't be improved by that?
God. I know.
That's what I say.
I know what my writing tip of the day is going to be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep.
More fuck squids.
More fuck squids. All right, Dina, do you have any last thoughts and shots before we get on? Oh, actually, hold on. I'm sorry, Dina. I'm so sorry. Tell us again about how to find Lost Boys and the anthologies. One more time, break it down for us.
Yeah, find Lost Boys Press at Lost Boys Press on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We're everywhere. You can look me up at Writing as War. Same thing. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. But yeah, do come follow us on Lost Boys, because we are putting out a lot of crazy books that people are digging. So do check us out, because we're small, we're indie, and we only survive if people read the books and review the books and buy the books and tell their friends. So we're doing our best on our end to create some fantastic reads for everybody, and we just love the fact that people are receptive to it. They're like, yes, we want different books, we want different reading experiences. So thank you.
The links for Lost Boys Press and for all the books we mentioned will be in the description of the video on YouTube and on your favorite podcast service.
Perfect, man. Dina, any last thoughts and shots before we get out of here?
I just want to reiterate that I was right, and I didn't have to watch that fucking movie the whole time, because it was about Peter Pan. Yeah. So fuck you guys. I wasted my time, and I fucking stole my friend's HBO password for nothing. I wasted my time.
She really wanted to make sure that she watched Lost Boys before she came on with you. So
I really did. I fucking watched that movie for Chad Ryan, because I was like, oh, I got Lost Boys Press.
I thought you watched it because Anthony and Stevie made fun of you.
No, I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah.
I watched it for Chad.
For you, Chad.
And because I thought that it was about that, and it wasn't. And
Yeah.
my husband even walked out, and he was like, "Why are you watching a horror movie?" And I was like, "Oh my god, it's scary! Like, oh no!"
I mean, I'm trying to remember. Like Lost Boys, I haven't seen in
So-
ages. I mean, does it still hold up? Because I've saw it obviously way back in the day.
mean,
It's okay.
you know,
It was good. It wasn't.
Well, it's like a dark
horror
comedy.
like
no,
I
it's
thought
certainly
it
not
was.
horror.
And I think because of that
Yeah,
comedy
exactly.
element, it does hold up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got this. It's
don't
got
think
that,
I laughed.
Yeah,
that
I'm a
quality
huge-
of like a cult classic. You know, like you don't expect high production value or anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely a cult classic. I did not laugh like a lot.
I'm a total product
So-
of 80s horror, right? You know, everywhere from Lost Boys to Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's
All my
Play,
favorites.
Hellraiser. I mean, that's my jam.
Oh,
Yeah, that's all.
my
That's how I
God.
grew up. Those were my Wheaties that I ate to write horror. So I have mad respect for some of that stuff.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, Chad, thank you so much for coming on the show. You already gave us a verbal commitment that you'll be back, so I cannot wait for that as
Yep.
well. Chad Ryan, thank you so much, man.
No problem, guys.
All right, so
I-
sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I promise not to kill off any more animals.
Only in fiction.
That's not me.
Chad loves
On the
animals.
fiction
What we learned from this episode is Chad loves animals, and Dina was right.
Yeah, that's all this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole episode was about. Is how much
Yep.
I love animals.
Trust me,
That's
in
our
his
one
gut.
rule.
All right, guys.
All right, man. All right, well, hey, God, thank you so much for coming out here.
Yep.
You can find me on Twitter at DanQWritesThing. Not things, because I ran out of characters. Just DanQWritesThing. And it's not Dank, Rain.
It's dank.
Dina, where can the folks find you? Dina, where can folks find you at home?
You can find me at Dinosaurus D. Like big D.
Oh my
These nuts. Okay.
And Sean, where can the folks find you at home?
Probably struggling to sleep tonight after that scary reading from Chad Ryan.
All right, guys.
known for
Also,
that.
so we get our daily Shannon quota. Hi, Shannon. Jazz hands.
Hey.
The Don't Make It Weird podcast, hosted by Daniel Quigley and Dinosaurus. Produced by me, Sean Holden. A very special thanks to our guest in this episode, Chad Ryan. You can find information about all of his social media and releases from Lost Boys Press in the description below. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you consume your podcasts. And if you have a question or a topic that you'd like to see on the show, send it over to us on Twitter at DMIW Podcast.